You're watching the All-American Racing League on the Sim World Racing Network.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Daytona International Speedway right here in Daytona Beach, Florida for race number 1 of the 2025 All-American Racing League Cup Series. So glad you could join us here on the Sim World Racing Network. My name is Nathan Christensen, the voice of the All-American Racing League Cup Series, as we get set to go 200 laps or 500 miles around the 2.5 mile long high bank Daytona International Speedway. Race number 1, as I said, of the 2025 season. So glad that we can start the 2025 season tonight as we have practice underway here on track right now. You have some cars tuning in those high power horsepower engines as we get set to go for this one tonight. A group of cars heading down the back straightaway there in the center. That is number this year. For that number 1 car, that is Curtis Sobran in that Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet Camaro out there on track, currently sitting, currently sitting 5th on the speed chart at this time. Now James Nelson goes to the top of the board. Is back this year in that beautiful auto cert number 75 Ford Mustang there, heading down from turns 1 and 2 on the high banks. He is right on the back bumper there, or was, of Gregory Robinson in that number 3, the Busch Latte machine, the 3 of Gregory Robinson. Actually out on track, the number 9 car, that is the Moza sponsored number 9. That is Sean Horlander. He is out of Mount Washington, Kentucky there, heading through turns 3 and 4 right on the back bumper of the aforementioned Curtis Sobran, as they get some 2-car drafting practice under their belts here as we are getting set to go here as we get closer to the green flag. Only about 12 minutes away from the start of this one. Let's see who else is on track. Tyrone Yo in that beautiful Mobile One Racing Ford Mustang, sponsored by UPMC Medical Center. And then again, there's that beautiful Ford Mobile One number 2 car out there on track. He is running right behind, it looks like that 20. That is Larry Garnes in his red, white, and blue salute to the troops number 20 machine. Larry joining us here on the night for his race. Let's see who else is on track. We have a newcomer to the All-American Racing League. That is Ryan Steinhoff in that number 74. As he works his way out of turn number 4 back down to the line. No, he will bring it to pit road as I say that. So we'll take another look, see if no one else really on track at this point. Still got Tyrone, and that is the 20 of Larry Garnes out there turning laps. And then we have a 3-car group. That is still Sobran, Robinson, and the 75 machine of James Nelson as they work their way down through turns 3 and 4. I'm so glad everyone could join us here tonight. So far, looks like 13 cars have signed in for tonight's Daytona 500. Obviously, last week we ran a duel at Daytona to set the starting lineup. Sorry, easy for me to say. For this one, obviously the front row was decided in single car qualifying. Tonight's pole sitter, going from the pole, that will be the number 3 of Greg Robinson, and starting outside that front row will be that number 8 Officer Lorfano. That is to you. Dave Lorfano will look to pick up what would be back-to-back Daytona 500 victories here with the All-American Racing League, as he snuck out a win last year by the slimmest of margins when the caution came out in triple overtime to snag the win from Riley Hoots. he will be a car to watch again this evening as he looks to pick up, as I mentioned, back-to-back Daytona 500 wins. We're going to switch this over to the commercial view so we can keep a view of that leaderboard and see who is sitting in the field with us tonight. But again, some cars still out on track practicing as we watch again. The Burns machine, they're headed down into turn 3 and 4, the far end of the turn. They work their way back out. Just under 10 minutes to go here in practice. Green flag set to fall shortly after 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for tuning in early as we get set for the race. While we have a second, I want to take a look at the 2024 All-American Racing final point standing. So at the end of last year, winner and champion of the final race, that was Alan Bledsoe. He collected that win from Phoenix in dominating fashion as well. That secured him the championship of the season. Behind him is league owner Dave Lorfano, comes up a few positions short of picking up the championship last year. He will look to better that by one position as he is a man on a mission to claim that 2025 championship. Third place finisher last year, that was Kyle Purcell in that 01 car. Fourth was Brendan Mathia, unfortunately unable to join us for the championship race at the final stop at Phoenix last year, so he held on to fourth place in the points. After that, it was Travis Rodriguez in fifth, James Nelson, Chad Snyder, Michael Kurgelek, Dave Hara, and Curtis Sobern were your top 10 in the point standings in 2024. Just a few more minutes here before we get going for the 2025 season, and obviously lots of drivers looking to pick up a win here in Daytona. Obviously a prestigious event, winning that first race of the year. So obviously everyone wants to get a piece of that, but we'll see who it is at the end of 200 laps. Like I mentioned, 500 miles around the 2.5 high-banked Daytona International Speedway. We'll take a quick check of the weather here on the screen. Let's take a look here. So a nice comfortable 75 degrees, Fahrenheit with a 38% humidity. Just a little bit cloudy and a breeze of 7 miles an hour. I think it's been fluctuating anywhere from 4 to 7 miles an hour is that wind speed. So shouldn't be affecting these cars too much out here tonight, but we'll be back with you in a couple minutes as we wrap up practice here from Daytona. just about 30 seconds to go here in Cup Series practice for the Daytona 500 as we get set to go 200 laps for race 1 of the All-American Racing League season. Looks like there is so far 16 cars signed in for tonight's race. Obviously, again, 200 laps, 500 miles. A couple of stage breaks will happen along the way. The end of lap 65 and the end of lap 130 will be the end of the two stages tonight. As always, stage points awarded at the completion of each stage. 10 to the winner, 1 to the 10th place finisher. And it drops by 1 point from 10 to 9 to 8 all the way back to 1. So we'll keep an eye on that happening as the stages will come at the end of 65 and the end of lap 130. So as the field will get set and situate itself on pit road, we will get set to roll as we are almost ready for that time to roll off of pit road. Again, pole sitter tonight will be the 3 of Greg Robinson, the 8 of Dave Lorfano. We'll go from the outside of front row, and then we will fill you in on the lineup in a couple of minutes once the field starts to roll. Looks like 17 cars signed in tonight to go 200 laps. And a beautiful afternoon here from Daytona, just after 8 o'clock Eastern. Thanks again for tuning in to the Sim World Racing Network. As Nathan Christensen, the voice of the All-American Racing League Cup Series, here to take you to the end of this one. As you can see, the starting lineup flashes up on the screen. As I mentioned, Greg Robinson and Dave Lorfano go from row number 1. Chris Essery in his first full 2025 AARL season, and Josh Hetricks outside of him. Dave Hera in the number 15, and Michael Kurdzlak in the Moza Motorsports butt kicker number 41 go from row 3. Sean Horlander and Tyrone Yo Jr. will roll off from that 4th row. Travis Rodriguez in his number 7 machine, and Curtis Sovereign in the 1 will go from row number 5. Johnny May and James Nelson will make up row number 6. Row 7 will see Ryan Steinhoff and Chad Snyder. Ken Pack and Larry Garns will roll off beside each other in row number 8, and bringing up the tail of the field in that number 27 Mobile 1 machine, that is Cam Harris. He will go off from shotgun on the field this afternoon. So we look to get set and get ready to go here. Just under half a lap away from getting this race started. As I mentioned, pole sitter Greg Robinson, he will have command of this field as they roll down the back straightaway, heading towards the Geico restart zone. That will be where he will be the first car to fire. He's got to wait for that green flag, though, on the original start. Starter starts the race, that is, and then from there, every other restart in this one will be at the leader's discretion once they reach the Geico restart zone. So 2 by 2 as the field forms up here on the exit turn number 4, heading towards that aforementioned Geico restart zone. 200 laps of racing action coming at you. Make sure you pull those belts tight. Double check that steering wheel is not going to fly off as we get set to go here at Daytona for the season lid lifter of the All-American Racing League Cup Series 2025 season. Green flag is out as they are stumbling and rumbling down to turn number 1. Inside row gets a good jump. That's the 3 to 4, and Officer Hillbilly in that 15, running that 3rd car on the inside line, not to be confused with his Super Trooper partner on the outside. That is Dave Lorfano in that number 8 car. Looks like Chris Essery going to drop to the inside off the racing surface. Try to join in at the back. Doesn't want to be up in the chaotic front part of this field early in this one. 200 laps to get it done, so he's got to make sure you got to finish the race first before you can win it. So now that'll open the door for Hillbilly. He will take over control of this one. He's got the help from the 9 car. That is Sean Horlander in that red car with the blue number 9. Right behind them, that's Rodriguez in the 7, Sauber in the 1. Robinson leads that outside row with Lorfano. Hetrick's in that beautiful capital. Sign companies, Graham Collision Assault Motorsports. That is the Chevrolet Camaro of Josh Hetrick. Right behind him in that outside row, that I believe is the Moza Motorsports number 41 machine. That is Mike Kurdzlek in that outside row, that number 2, that Mobile 1 machine, that is as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. The front row still stays side by side as Robinson gets back around the 15 of Hera, and he will run side by side with his front row partner in that number 8 car, Lorfano there, the LSPD number 8. Hard to tell with that little door number, but on the roof it clearly shows that. Lorfano seems to be able to keep that top row moving. The bottom side gets a ton of momentum there through turns 1 and 2 on the exit of that 2 and into the back straightaway. Back down into turn 3, still a little bit of a 3-car group developing on that inside line, pulling a bit of a gap back to Curtis Sobrin there in that number 1 car as the field works its way back off of turn 4, headed for the tri-oval to complete lap number 3. Push to the 7 car as he works his way around. So it looks like the 7 might have got a piece of the wall possibly, as now the bottom line will clear right on through. That's going to use a bunch of ground here for the 8 and the 7. The 25 right there with them, the Steinhoff 74. That's that green, purple, and white machine as they head back down to turn 3. Up front though, Greg Robinson got this under control so far here this afternoon. They work their way back out and down the front straightaway. Single file around the bottom, 1 row of cars here early in this one. No one, as I mentioned, pushing too hard early in this one, as obviously you got to make it to the end of the race to win it, so that first part is very crucial. Getting there before you can pick up the victory is important. Now we got a car moving to the outside. That is Hillbilly Hera in the 15. See if he can make that work. Not sure it's going to have much effect, although with him out there by himself at this point, no one's jumping out to help him, so they will continue to ride single file, nose to tail on the bottom. Couple cars already falling off. Steinhoff 74, then you'll have Barry Carnes in the 20 and Cam Harris in the 27 sitting off the field. Obviously lost the lap, with a long way to go. I can't imagine they are overly concerned at this point. A little bit of a connection flicker there for the 9 car this time as they cross the line. 6 complete as they work their way back down into turn 2. Again, 1 line, single file. The field rolls down the back straightaway. No one taking any chances as they're going to ride this one out for a while. Again, first competition, it's not competition caution, sorry about that. The first stage break will come at the end of lap 65, so a bit of a ways to go to get there first. But we will keep an eye on the field as they race it out here around Daytona. Josh Hettricks will be the last car here in the draft pack, sitting about 1.5 seconds off the leader at this point. But again, as we discussed earlier, just happy to ride this one out for a bit. Obviously, only on lap 11 of 200, so still a long ways to go, and it's going to be a while till we get there. So they're going to ride this out and make some laps and see how the afternoon plays out. I'm thinking, though, when it comes to the stage end, they will get on the horse and get going and see if they can score stage points. One thing we learned from some of the drivers here is last year, running in the full season with the full cup schedule, those stage points can add up and add up quick. Obviously, 10 points awarded to the stage winner, 9, 8, 7, and so on, back down to 1 point for the 10th place finisher. So they do add up, and most importantly, I think, and something that we might not mention enough, is that if you pick up a stage win in any of the 26 regular season events, you will get 1 playoff point that you can add to your total at the start of the 2025 playoffs. And you can't forget that you win and you're in as long as you maintain an attendance of at least 70% of the races run heading into the playoffs. If you win a regular season race, that does lock you into the playoffs. And on top of those 1 playoff points for stage wins, you get 5 extra playoff points if you pick up a victory. So if you're able to go into the playoffs with 5 or 6 wins under your belt, that's an easy 25 to 30 point gap that you will have at the start of the playoffs once the season points reset for the 10 race 16 car playoffs. Obviously very important to finish well in those races once the playoffs starts, but having that points cushion going in adds a little bit of room for error in the 3 race rounds. Similar to last year, 3 rounds of 3 races each, followed by a 1 race shootout from the desert in Phoenix to crown the 2025 champion. We continue to ride on board the roof cam, the QFRL Sister League roof cam of the 25 of Josh Hettricks, the Capital Sign Company Grand Collisions Assault Motorsports number 25. He is there. Right behind his teammate there on the inside, that is the Assault Motorsports Blues Race Design Rebellion Graphics Assault Motorsports Toyota. That's driven by Chad Snyder. Always a good looking car for Chad here in the All-American Racing. We'll take a better look. There is that beautiful blue, white, and gold paint job on that number 26 machine. He gets a good run there down the inside, as passing the state troopers. I don't know if that's going to go over well, but as they move their way back down into turn 3 and 4 here on lap 15, Robinson continues to lead. Here has led 12 laps so far in this one as they work their way back towards the tri-oval. As we'll keep another eye here at Snyder, obviously across the start running inside Officer Lorfano in that number 8 car. Another beautiful painted car. We'll take a quick look. That is Josh's Capital Sign Go Grand Collision number 25, and the team car out of the Assault Motorsports stable as he heads down the back straightaway. There's another good looking car, Tyrone Yo. He has painted that himself, so if you need a car painted up for the iRacing service, just look up Tyrone on Facebook. He will be able to help you out and get you a cool looking ride for your on-track races in iRacing. Up front, though, it continues to be Greg Robinson in the Busch Latte, Busch Light number 3 car. He's got a challenger on the outside, though. That is QFRL League owner and second year in the All-American Racing League. That is the beautiful number 75 Auto Serve Ford Mustang out of Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. That is none other than James Nelson driving that machine here down the back straight. He got some help right behind him from Officer Hillbilly as they work that outside groove back up to the front of this one here as we get towards lap number 20 Almost 1/10 of the way through this one. And we've got to count it down by tenths because it's a long one. As the field there, still in good formation. That number 4 car, Chris Esri, lost a lap as soon as he lost the draft early in this one. So he is just there at the tail end of this group. But unfortunately, one lap down in that number 4 Unlock Your Speed Ford Mustang as he works his way down the back straightaway. Up front though, now James Nelson able to clear the Robinson 3. He scooted down in front of him while we were keeping an eye on the Esri machine. So Nelson to the point of this one here as they come back around to complete lap 18 at outside row, making up some ground for sure. Four All-Americans and veterans up there. That's Dave Hara, Dave Lorfano, Travis Rodriguez, and Josh Hettricks make up that outside row. And that inside row has a lot of the QFRL regular boys. Obviously, I've mentioned James Nelson in that number 75 league owner and racer over there, Greg Robinson. He is also a member of the QFRL family. Sean Horlander, again, another one of those guys. Curtis Sobran, he also helps run the QFRL. And then right there in that 41 machine, that is Mike Kurgelek. He is out of Louisville, Kentucky. Ooh, Chad gets really tight on the exit of turn number 4. He gets up and below. Hopefully that is not going to cause him too much air resistance and make that car slower than it should be. And then the final QFRL regular in the field tonight, we take a look here at this number 16. That's the Prism Health number 16. And sponsored by Prism Health and the American Heart Association. That is Ken Pack out of Greer, South Carolina. Ken Pack obviously looking for victory lane. Don't think he has a win here in the AARL since joining last season. So he is hungry for a victory here tonight. And looks like the outside lane prevailed as both Hara and Lorfano able to clear the Nelson 75 that lap, and they are now leading the way 1 and 2 on the inside row. Coming across to complete lap number 20. As we continue clean and green in this one here, back around, complete 21 of 200. Still Hara Lorfano leading that inside row. That's Nelson Robinson. Then the first car on the outside, the 7 machine of Travis Rodriguez. He's got Hettricks and Snyder with him. The inside row behind Nelson is Robinson. Horlander still experiencing a bit of a connection issue there as they work their way through 1 and 2. Then you got Sobern, Kurgelek, and Ken Pack in that inside row. Now the outside making a push as both Nelson and Robinson go to the top side to see if they can get back to the top of the pile here in this one as they work through turn 3 and 4. Down across the line, looks like Nelson's going to go back to the lead in this one as they're going to drop back down in front. I think maybe they're kind of hanging out in the middle. Nope, they go right back down to the yellow line and will take back over control of the inside row as they again work their way through turns 1 and 2. The top row loses a bunch of ground as they're back down to only 3 cars. Doesn't seem like 3 is the number. Can't get much going with 3 cars up there, but every time they seem to get that 4th and 5th car, they're able to make a good charge back up to the front. So we'll see if they can gather any help as they work back down across the start-finish line here. And we'll see how this develops as we continue in this early stages of this one. Front window of the number 15 Officer Hill Drilling Machine as they work their way back from turn 1 and 2. Doesn't really look like anyone is in too much of a hurry at this point. Obviously we'll keep an eye here as that second line still looking to get something going. Again, no one out there to help them quite yet, so everyone's quite content to run around the bottom, single file for now. Now we have Lorfano moving to the outside, see if he can get a push from the center. Close that gap now with 4 cars, so looks like earlier the key was that 5th car, but we'll see how 4 can handle it as they work down into turn 1 and 2. Hera going up a little bit to that middle groove to kind of slow the momentum of that outside line down a little bit. So now Hera will jump up to the outside line. He's going to get a bump from the 8 of Lorfano. See if they can propel themselves back up to the front of this one. Big shove down into turn number 3 from Lorfano on the back bumper of the 15. That's going to bring them even as they hit the exit of turn number 4. Down the tri-oval, the top there, you can see it, all the momentum now for those 5 cars. Clear all 5 of them from that 75 of Nelson. Not quite there yet though, as Snyder's still side by side with Nelson down into turn 1. As I say that though, they are able to clear that group and get down to the bottom. So the 5 cars that were on the outside make hay while the sun shines, and they make that move back down to the bottom. But now, just as quickly as they got that job done, Nelson and Robinson, with the help of Horlander, go back to work on the inside. Turn 4. Big push from Robinson in the middle of the corner. Not sure if that's the smartest decision when the cars aren't headed in straight on. Nonetheless, he pushes them right back up even with Hera as they enter turn number 1. He made it look a little easier, those 2 cars making those moves on the outside, getting themselves back up to the front of this one as again they head down the back straightaway. 3 cars on the outside, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 cars on the inside line as they head down into turn 3 and 4. We're going to go 3 wide off of turn number 3. A little early for this, I would think, but Robinson, with the help of Horlander, is going to clear the outside of Nelson. Again, not sure why we're racing 3 wide this early, but didn't hurt anyone that time as they work back down to turn 1 and 2. So Nelson went from the front of this one. He's already all the way back to 10th. Just that easily in about a half of a lap. We continue to work the back straightaway here on lap number 29. To that lap 30 mark here shortly, so just about halfway through the first 3 stages tonight. Looking for lap 65, the end of lap 65 will be the completion of the stage. Outside, still those same 3 cars. This time by Greg Robinson, Sean Horlander, the second car in line, and then James Nelson relegated back to the third car in the outside line after being the car in the front of that line earlier. A few laps to go to see if they can make it work. To get back up to where they need to be, though, as they continue to work around here, coming down. Lap 30. So as long sometimes it seems like the laps take a while. It's about 47 seconds to get around this place in for a lap. But we're already through the first 30 here from Daytona. We're going to step away for a second. We'll be right back on the other side of this one. Heading down the back straightaway, Hera leads Lorfano. Rodriguez, 25, Hendricks and Snyder will control that bottom line as they work down the front straightaway. Field heads past where the bus stop would be for the 24-hour of Daytona race. Down to turn 3 and 4. A lot of these guys in the field tonight did compete in that aforementioned 24 hours of Daytona. A couple teams out of the All-American Racing League stable and a couple of teams out of the Quick Finishers Racing League stable did battle for 24 hours in sports cars. The boys of the AARL took to the track in the GT3 class, driving that beautiful Assault Motorsports Porsche. And then the boys in the QFRL, easy for me to say, group, they went GTP racing with the Cadillac. Or as I mentioned, 24 hours straight, teams of 2, 3, and they got it done. I know the QFRL guys brought it home in the top 5 for both of them. Not so fortunate for the AARL guys, weren't able to secure a podium finish or a top 5, but completed the full 24 hours, so that in itself is a feat that most of us can say we have not accomplished. Field continues to work single file as they hit the back straightaway, all running around on that yellow line as we get set possibly for some pit stops here shortly. It looks like one of the groups of cars, the group at the back that lost the draft earlier in the event, have headed down pit road as Steinhoff, Garns, Harris has completed his pit stop, as well as Esri, and here come the rest of them. Pit road is going to be busy. Hopefully everyone gets woed up in time and no one gets a speeding penalty, as there you can see them coming down to the pits. A whole group of them. Every car that hadn't pitted will hit pit road this time. It more than likely will be fuel only stops, as tires are not an important part of this one. Doesn't look like any cars are going up on the jacks. Maybe one a little further back. The 75 looks like he is getting some tires. Maybe a bunch of other guys actually did get tires and made me look like a schmuck. As they all roll off of pit road, looks like some trouble for the Hera 15. Did he get a speeding penalty? Let's take a look here. Not sure what happened to Dave. Has to be a speeding penalty, you would think, as long as he's been sitting there. First car to come in, last car to leave, and still hasn't moved. Dave is going to go down a lap here in this one. Again, not sure what happened, but the new leader is the 7 of Travis Rodriguez up front. And this one right there. Definitely shuffled the deck a bunch here with those pit stops, as it's got the cars all broken up. A couple of smaller groups developing. Looks like we got a group of 4 up front. That is Kurdelek in the 1, Packers 16. Petrix the 25, Rodriguez in the 7. So a group of 3 there together, a little bit off the back of that first group. We have, that looks to be Lorfano, Snyder, as well as the 1 of Sobrin. And looks like the third group, looks like it's the 75 of Nelson, the 3 of Robinson, Tyrone Yo, and then the 9 of Horlander make up that next group. And then obviously that group that's a little further off the pace, lost the lap early in this one, but still maintaining on the lead lap up until this point. You got Larry Garnes, Cam Harris, and Ryan Steinhoff in that purple, green, and black 74. So looks like 14 cars on the lead lap. Chris Essery 1 lap down in 15th, and then Dave Hara on pit road. So something else going on in Dave's race, so we'll see if he's able to rejoin us. But right now, unfortunately, 2 laps down, and probably going to go a couple more here. But up front, Hetrix continues to lead the way. Quick mention, shout out to Josh, picked up the Xfinity Series QFRL win on Tuesday night. Last minute league thrown together. We're going to race on Tuesday nights. The Xfinity Series cars going to do the full length races for the full series, like the Cup and the Truck Series. So we'll have one race a week for each of the 3 series, National Touring Series, and then actually 2 for the Cup Series. Right tonight, Thursday nights, that'll be AARL night for the Cup cars. Then Friday, tomorrow night, we'll have the QFRL Cup Series cars. A lot of crossover between the 2 groups, so you'd see a lot of these cars racing tomorrow night that you see racing tonight. And then Sundays is the Truck Series. That's an All-American Racing League Truck Series. Those are full-length races, and they will again follow the full season schedule. So they don't race every week, but not very many weeks off. I think there's a total of maybe 25, 26 races total on the season for the trucks compared to 36 for the Cup cars. So that is on Sunday, and then as of this past Tuesday, the kickoff to the QFRL Xfinity Series, 20 cars came out on short notice, as it was a kind of a last-minute decision to put that deal together, and fun was had by all. Definitely some tough driving cars. I was out there in the field, got myself, I believe, a top 10, I think, maybe 11th. Can't put my finger on it. Obviously, I didn't win, or I'd be bragging about that. But Hetrix up front in that 25, he picked up the win on Tuesday night, and that was to kick off the season for all the groups, all the leagues. That was the first full-length race of the season. So he continues to lead the way here in this one, as they work down into turn 1 and 2. Looks like we have some trouble though. Issue on the racetrack. Let's see if we can see what happened there. Looks like Lorfano, Robinson, and Snyder all involved. So we'll see if we can grab a replay. So Robinson, big time push, and he just got to the inside, and Lorfano just kind of got into his back bumper. No one really at fault. Just a big shove on the back of the 75. Got the 3 car out of sorts, and that caused an issue. So we'll take another look at that one here, see if we can change the camera angle. So here we go. So you'll see the 3 car just wobble all the way down and get inside the 8, and then try to come back up with a car right there on his outside. So we ended up getting together with Lorfano. One more look before we go back to the live view. Robinson, big contact with that outside wall. He did get the mechanical black flag, so he will have to come down pit road. And while we've been watching this, all looks like the caution has come out on the racetrack. So a break for those 3 cars involved in that one, as they are able to bring their cars down to pit road to the attention of their crews. Looks like Robinson's on the verge of blowing up, so you might want to get that in there sooner rather than later. As 46 laps complete here in this one, Robinson still may lose a lap, as the leader is just now coming off of turn number 4. And we'll see if anyone else heads down pit road. Shouldn't have to pit because they should be able to make it to the end of the stage. So it doesn't look like we'll have any, possibly any takers on pit road. Oh, a few of them come down. Horlander, Harris, Steinhoff, Garnes all down pit road. Looks like Robinson will beat the leader back out of pit road. So that should save him and keep him on the lead lap. Beneficial caution for the 4 car, Chris Essery. He was the only car, or sorry, he was, of the 2 cars 1 lap down, he was the 2 cars a lap down. He was the only car on the track at the time of the caution, so that will be able to bring him back on the lead lap. So Chris Essery will get the Night Owl So's lucky dog and move himself back into the lead, onto the lead lap of this one. Sure, that is a good thing for the 4. There you can see him whipping by the field. He's going to go have to do a whole other lap to catch up to the back. Quick cautions here at Daytona, usually only a couple of laps from the time pit road opens, so I'm assuming we are on 2 laps to go for the field, and we'll come back around to get the 1 to go signal before, and we'll head back under racing. Josh Hetrick's the leader, Ken Pack and Michael Kurdzlak second and third. Travis Rodriguez and James Nelson and Chad Snyder was involved in that incident that brought out the caution, but doesn't look like he took too much damage as his car seems to be pretty clear from the view we have right here. We'll wait till he comes back around and we'll get a view of the inside, the outside of that car, see if he's got any damage on it, but from what we can see on the inside, nothing gonna slow him down any. So we'll see if he can come around here and we'll get a better shot of the right hand side of his car. Well, no damage for Chad on that number 26 car. So he should be good to keep going here on the Speedway as the field gets doubled up. That should be the 1 to go signal. So 1 to go given to the field. Josh Hetrick's the leader. As we mentioned off the start of this one, original green flag is on, original start is on the starter. Then every restart after that, the leader can choose when to start the race, but it has to be in the Geico restart zone is the key. So Hetrick on the front row, outside him will be the 16 of Ken Peck, Travis Rodriguez, and Mike Kurdzlak in row 2 with Kurdzlak in 3rd, Rodriguez in 4th, James Nelson in 5th, Chad Snyder in 6th, Tyrone Yo and Curtis Sabrin make up that next row. You got Steinhoff and Garnes, then you got Horlander and Harris, and at the back that looks to be the 8 of Lorfano and the 3 of Greg Robinson, the 2 cars involved in that one. And then just still trying to get caught up to the field, looks like the Essery 4 just heading down into turn 1 and 2, as you can see there on the track map, exiting turn 2. No, shouldn't have any issues catching up. Lots of time before these guys get back to the Geico restart zone, so we should be all caught up by then, and we are going to get set to go back. Green flag racing, 15 cars, everybody still on the lead lap here at this point. And this one car in the pits, Dave Hara, unfortunately now up to 9 laps down, so not looking like it's going to be Dave's night to pick up his first victory since 2023. As we get set to go down to the Geico restart zone, as I mentioned, Hetrick's will be the control car. He will be the first car to fire once they get there. Pace car looking to the safety of pit road. Pull them belts tight. Check the wheel as we get set to go. Green flag is back in the air, and we are racing again from Daytona as they go stumbling and bumbling down to turn number 1. Field race is back out at turn number 4 through the trial. This is going to be the completion of lap 50. 50 laps complete, a quarter of the way through this one, and about 15 laps away from the end of stage 1 as the field works down into turn number 1 and 2. Petrix on the bottom leading the way over Kurtzlek. Nelson and Sobrin, who just disappeared. Oh, there he is. Chrome number 1 machine. Looks like Sobrin thinking about going up to the top to get a help from Ken Pack, but he thinks better of that. He's going to drop down in line as those first 4 cars continue to pick up a bit of a distance between the 5th and 6th place machine this time as they work through turn 3 and 4. Bump from Kurtzlek to the back of the 25. Now it looks like Ken Pack is able to close the gap between those 2 groups. He's going to try to bring Rodriguez with him. That's going to leave a couple of cars battling now 3 wide here in this one as Harris on the outside. Nope, he thinks better of it. He'll sneak back down behind Tyro. The bottom, though, has the quickest way as they were able to pull Tyrone before they got to turn 3. That is Rodriguez, Snyder, and Forlander there on the bottom. Then you got Lorfano, Robinson, Larry Garland, and the 74 of Steinhoff working in that half of the field. Again, Chris Essery off falling back off the pace of this one again, though not in too much danger though, as we have at least 2 more stage breaks before the end of this one. So lots of opportunities, couple opportunities at least, to get the lucky dog and get back on the lap to lose the lap. So the field works its way out of turn 4 back down the start finish line, completing lap 53. Petrix, Kurtzlek, Nelson, Sobrin, Ken Pack, Rodriguez, Chad Snyder, Sean Horlander, Tyrone Milk, and Harris single file nose to tail through turns 1 and 2. Click off 54 of 200. About 47 minutes into this one since the drop of the green flag, so we're on pace for about a 3-hour race here based on that time. So as we work our way closer to the 9 o'clock Eastern hour, as we get to completion of stage number 1 here in just a handful of laps. train of cars running single file around the inside here as we work our way through the end of lap 57. One new thing I want to call it also this year is the introduction of 1 point for the fastest lap during the race. So far tonight at the completion of lap 57, the quickest lap of the race belongs to that number 2 car, Tyrone Yo. He's sitting with the quick lap of 46.093 here so far is the quick one. So we'll keep an eye on that as the race develops, see if anyone's able to go quicker than that 46.093 that Tyrone Yo currently has on the board. Looks like second quick might be Cam Harris. 2/1000ths of a second off. He sits with a 46095 to 9. See if anyone else is anywhere near there. We got a 288. 288. We have a 314, a 321. But definitely by far the quickest are the 2 laps by Tyrone and Cam. So second lane looks like it's developing a little further back. So let's turn our attention there as that is Orlando Robinson, Lorfano, and that is Garnes in the 20 machine. Getting that second lane headed towards the front of this one. Going to pick up here shortly as we get closer and closer to the end of stage 1 for the stage win in the standings, but more importantly, 1 playoff point goes a long way once those playoffs get started. So as we continue to work here, about 6 laps to go before the end of the stage, we should see some challenges going on potentially for that lead. Or our driver's going to be a little conservative here and not race too hard, knowing that they still have 135 laps to go once the stage is over. So let's keep an eye on that as we continue to work here, as they are still single file down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4. Just 4 laps away from the end of stage 1 here as the cars continue to run single file along that inside rail. As I say that, we have some double file developing. That looks to be the Nelson 75 and the 3 of Greg Robinson, again trying to get those cars to the front, score some stage points at the end of stage number 1. Big push from Kurdzlek there on the back of the Capital Sign Company Graham collision number 25. Now Robinson bails on Nelson back to that inside line as they come back down through across the start-finish line. Should be 2 laps to go this time in the stage as they head towards the start-finish line. Again, the outside line starting to make a move. Pit entry has closed the race, and we have a new fast lap that lap as James Nelson puts off a 45.995. So a new fast lap, as we talked about earlier. Bonus point on the line for that. That'll move Nelson to the points scoring position for that one as they continue to battle it out down the back straight. It looks like Horlander and Rodriguez making a go of it on the outside, but they'll come around with 1 to go in the stage. Hetrick still all in control of this one. 23 laps led so far, the most out of anyone so far this afternoon. Down to the line next time by, they should see the caution flag and the white checker will be put out for the end of the stage. Nelson making a move to the inside from behind Ken Pack. He's going to get on the back of the Kurzlak 1 as Hetrick goes up to block the run of the 3. But he's got 2 lanes of traffic coming and only 1 car to keep him behind. Now Robinson with the help of Pack and Horlander. Look like they're going to be able to get by that number 25 car as they do clear. All 3 of them clear Hetrick. So Hetrick goes from 1st to 4th down the back straightaway. Oh, he gets a bump from the 41 who gets into the back of the 9. The 9 up into the wall. Everyone else able to continue slipping and sliding and still underway. Rodriguez, he'll spin out. Down to the stripe, looks like Greg Robinson will pick up the stage win. And Ken Pack, Kurzlek, Nelson, and Hetrick will be the top 5 in the stage. So what a way to end the stage. Let's take a look here at what happened to get Sean Horlander up into the pit wall, out into the outside wall. So you can see the 41 gives a big shove to the 25, and he's just not able to slow that car down enough before getting into the back of a Horlander number 9. So we'll take one more look at this one. Watch the bump. There it is, and the 9 just gets down on that apron, and almost once you lose the apron, hit the apron, you're destined for trouble as the hood flaps up, and he's got no way to see now. And then Travis kind of gets 1 tire up on the banking, 1 tire on the flat. That's going to spin him out. He's going to lose a bunch of spots as the rest of the field comes down to the end of the stage. If Horlander gets the worst of that one, he is going to have to use that fast repair as the mechanical black flag for that number 9 car. Take a little look. So see the bump from the 41 into the back of the 25 just propelled the 25 into the 9, and then the 9 was just hanging on for a ride as the rest of the field tried to work its way by. You can see how tough it is to get going once you're down on that apron. For the most part, to keep rolling. Obviously, Horlander in pit road getting some work done to his car. Not sure if he had his fast repair checked or not. So he will have to sit on pit road, looks like, and get that damage fixed. That is going to put him some laps off the pace. He's already 2 laps down to the field, unfortunately, here at the end of stage 1. So let's take another look here at the stage results. Looks like it was the Robinson 3, the Ken Pack 60, and then Kurzlek, Nelson, Hetrick, your top 5. Lorfano, Snyder, Sobran, Harris, and Garnes all in points paying positions at the end of stage number 1. As the field heads down pit road to get some potentially fresh Goodyear tires as well as a full tank of Sunoco Racing fuel to get those cars through another about 35 or so laps, I believe, is the distance on a tank of fuel. Obviously, first car in, first car out is the Robinson 3. He's going to be followed by Ken Peck, the battle off of pit road. Looks like that'll go to the 75, the 41, then the 8 car. Still cars getting their services completed, but up front, Greg Robinson. Stage winner, pole sitter, stage winner. So far, a perfect afternoon going for the driver of that number 3 car. Looks like the one to go signal was given as the field starts to double up here as lights are off on the pacer. That means green flag next time. Out of turn number 4, Greg Robinson, Ken Pack will make up the front row. And looks to be James Nelson and Mike Kurtzlek in row 2. Dave Lorfano and Cam Harris will be in the third row. Curtis Sovereign and Chad Snyder. Row number 4, Tyrone and Hetrick. Tyrone Yo and Josh Hetricks will make up row 5. Larry Garnes and Ryan Steinhoff will make up row 6. Chris Essery and Travis Rodriguez row 7. And then Sean Horlander will join at the tail end of this one. Unfortunately, 2 laps down at this point. But good news for him is he is the only car running on track that is not on the lead lap. So in position for a lucky dog should the caution come out. As the lights are off on the pace truck, he makes the hard left-hand turn onto the safety of pit road. The cars are into the Geico restart zone. Greg Robinson, first car to fire. There's the green flag back in the air as he completes lap number 69. We are working lap 70 here as we head down towards turn 1 and 2 to start stage number 2 in this one. Robinson and Nelson get clear of the outside row early. He's looking to bring Lorfano with him as he is right there on that inside row, with Sovereign looking to close in on the back of Lorfano. On the top side of the track, though, you have Ken Peck, then the Kurdzlek 41, and the 27 of Harris trying to make that outside work as they head into 3 and 4. Top side momentum gets the job done as now Ken Pack's going to pull those 3 cars clear of the Robinson field. They're going to cut down in front, sure are, as the 27 of Harris flashes out. He is back though as they work now single file back on the bottom, one long snake of cars, 1 and 2. Still being led by Ken Peck in the 16. Then you have Kurdzlek. Right behind him is that 27 machine. That is Harris out of San Antonio, Texas. And number 1 machine. Then behind him, the Busch Light machine. That is Greg Robinson, stage 1 winner in that beautiful blue and white number 3 car. Right behind him is Nelson in that 75. James Nelson out of Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, driving the Auto Serve Night Owl Sewing entry here tonight. Then Officer Lorfano in the number 8 police machine, the Los Santos Police Department, Unit 8. Officer Dave headed through 3 and 4. Curtis Sovereign continues here in that number 1 car. New number for Curtis this year. He is running that number 1 Bass Pro Tractor Boats Chrome number 1 Camaro here in this one, currently sitting in the number 7 position. Right behind him, out of York, Pennsylvania, that is Tyrone Neo Jr. driving the Mobile 1 UPMC machine. That is a Ford Mustang. Headed down the back straightaway. Right behind him, beautiful looking salute to the troops car. That is Larry Garnes. He is out of Charleston, West Virginia. Then you have Chris Essery. He's out of Bakersfield, California, running right now in the 10th position. So lost a lap early in this one, got it back on the first caution. Now continues to run here under green flag in that 10th spot. Just seen on the outside of 10th, but again, that is the Travis Rodriguez Americana Automotive number 7 machine. Is also a Ford Mustang here in the field tonight. Then you have the Chevrolet, the Falcon Chevrolet of Ryan Steinhoff in that 74 machine. First year with the All-American Racing League. Glad to have Ryan on board. Then right now running in 13th after a bit of a dust up there at the end of stage number 1. That is the Capital Sign Co. Graham Collision or Lawn Care Assault Motorsports number 25 of Josh Hetrick out of Elkhart, Iowa. Is Hetrick in that 25 machine. And behind him, losing the draft and sitting way back off the back of the pack, that is Mineral Virginia's Chad Snyder in that beautiful, beautiful Blues Race Design Rebellion Graphics Toyota Camry. He is also out of the Assault Motorsports stable. And then on track 2, the 9th car, that is Sean Horlander. I apologize, he's out of Mount Washington, Kentucky, driving that Moza Motorsports SimWorld Racing number 9 car. But up front, it's Ken Pack leading the way here in stage number 2. And then he has the 41 of Kurdzlek right on his back bumper. Harris, Robinson, Nelson, top 5 here as we come around to complete the lap 75 of this one. Single file around the yellow line here at Daytona. Gotta keep in mind, can't improve your position by going below the yellow line at any time in the race, especially coming to the finish of the race. Usually ends up in a penalty resulting in you being scored on the last position on the lap you're running on. So if you're on the lead lap, you would be right in front of the cars 1 lap down, and so on and so forth. But we don't want to get into that situation. If you're forced down there because of someone else's maneuver, it's a different story. But at the end of the day, you can't pass below that yellow line. You got to try to keep all four wheels above it. So something to keep an eye on as we potentially get down to the end of this one. You can see a big push there from the 8 on the back of the 75. Got him a little bit down behind the line, so not at fault. Push. Up front, though, Ken Pack continues to lead the way. Like Harris, Robinson and Nelson, I apologize. The top 5, you have Lorfano there sitting in that 6th spot. Sobran, Tyrone Yo, Larry Garns. And 9th, Chris Estrie brings up the 10th place, is the 10th place car. So no real movement inside that top 10 as of right now. Continue to work here. Lap number 77 coming to an end as they get back around to the start-finish line here at Daytona. The Mobile One QFRL roof cam on top of Cam Harrison, number 27, as we head down towards turn 3 and 4. Great shot out of that camera. We'll take another look here. We'll go to the rear spoiler on Ken Pack's machine. You can see looking down into the eyes of Mike Kurdzlek right there as he works that inside roof, trying to stay as close as he can to the back bumper. Ken Pack to maximize the draft and the speed of these cars here on lap 79 as Pack continues to lead. Up to 9 laps led so far for Ken in this one. Lap leader so far, Josh Hetchicks with 24, Greg Robinson with 3, Ken Pack with 9, 6 for Nelson, 1 lap for Lorfano, and 1 lap for Travis Rodriguez, and then Dave Hara led 17 laps earlier in this one. So lots of guys, lots of drivers have led laps in this one already as we work here under green, completing lap 79 as we look to complete lap 80 here this time as they head down into turn 1 and 2. continue to work here under green flag in the middle of stage number 2. We complete lap 86 that time across the line. Ken Pack continues to run out front, uncontested right now at this point. Kerslake, Harris, Robinson, Nelson, Lorfano, Sobrin, Tyrone Yo, Larry Garnes, and Chris Essery still running in the top 10. No position changes in the last handful of laps. Looks like Dave Hara back out there on the track. There is the number 15 Super Trooper machine. He is definitely running at a single car speed, so he will hopefully be able to tag on the back of this group here and stay up with the draft. 46 laps down, unfortunately, for Hara, so his day, pretty much, his chance of winning this one is pretty much gone to the wayside, though he is just happy to be out here contending, looking forward to a good 2025 season. Is the driver of that 15. Another car looks to be going one lap down is the Snyder number 26. We saw him earlier, had lost the pack, lost the draft earlier in the stage 2 run, and now he is headed towards the tail end of the draft group. Hopefully some cars will pick him up like they did with Hillbilly, as he looks to be gaining some speed here. Looks a little bit side drafting off the cars around him. Looks like things have changed up front a little bit too, as Greg Robinson now up into the 3rd position, able to get around Cam. Lorfano now up into 5th, so the car's moving around a little bit more here as we get close to the 90th lap in this one. Though, as we continue to mention, Ken Pack leading the way, getting some pushing help from, that is the 41. First leg down for a second lane developing. We got a little bit of action here. Come back around the circuit number 89. 111 to go as we creep ever so closer to the halfway point in this one. Almost 250 miles down, 250 to go. That'll be in 11 laps from now, so let's not get ahead of ourselves quite yet as the field continues to work out under green. We got a second groove developing though, and we're going to have some side-by-side action here at the front of this one momentarily as Harris jumps up to that top side, slows that one down of those top line cars. CP now can get it pushed in. Close the gap between himself and Ken Pack, the leader, as some of those top side cars will jump back down to that bottom line, so they're going to lose a bit of help on the top side. Pushing help now down in the bottom as they head down back towards turn 1 and 2. Harris, Nelson, Rodriguez, and Hetrick lead the way on that outside line. They're almost side by side even, with Sobrin sitting in 4th place at this point. That's a big run coming from those two cars, the 75 and the 27, as they get a big push down into turn 3 and 4. So those same 4 cars working that top side through 3 and 4. Come out of turn number 4 to complete lap number 90. 109 to go. Ken Pack got his 22nd lap led of the afternoon, so 2 laps shy of taking over the control of the laps led board, for lack of better terms, as he continues to work his way here down the back straightaway. Still a beautiful day out there. 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Track temperature currently sitting at a modest 78 degrees. We're about an hour and 20 minutes into this one as we work here lap 91. Or sorry, working on lap 92 of 200. So it looks like the top side not working very well here in this second stage. Not really a lot of help up there. 3 cars still trying to make a go of it. That's Harris, Rodriguez, and Hedrick. Everyone else down on the bottom, taking the shortest way around this 2.5-mile speedway. Not really a lot to talk about here at the middle part of this race, so apologize for the extra silence, but just taking in the racing just as much as you are here as we work through lap number 96 now. 5 on the board, working on 96. So as we continue to move towards the middle part of this one, still 104 laps to go, 105, sorry, laps to go in this one. So lots of racing still ahead of us as we haven't even hit the halfway point yet. For business to pick up though, for sure, as we get further and further into this run, as track position obviously at a premium here. As you can see, no one is really challenging here in the middle of this one. A couple of cars running too wide, but nothing, no battle for the lead yet as Pack continues to show the way in that Prism Health number 16 Chevrolet Camaro as they head down to turn 1 and 2 again here on lap 96. Field works itself down the back straightaway. Next time at the line, halfway, 250 down, 250 to go. 100 laps remaining here from Daytona. Next time across the stripe for Ken Peck. Continues to lead this one. Led most of the way here in stage number 2 since the drop of the green flag. So the field following Ken. That Prisma Health, number 16 American Heart Society Association, from Narrow. There it is, halfway through the Daytona 500 here for the All-American Racing League Cup Series. 30 laps away from the end of stage number 2, and we should be getting close to pit stops, I would think. Let's take a look here. So 33 and 34 laps respectively for these drivers since the last time they were on pit road. So that means fuel stops are coming in just a matter of time, I would guess. Let's see here. Let's take a look here at the stint length so far this afternoon. So there you see 39 laps was the furthest that they ran in that opening stint. So probably looking to go the same amount of time here in stage number 2. But obviously that caution for the stage break. Brought them down pit road there after a 28 lap stint in the middle, and we've gone 34 laps since stage number 2 started here. About lap 70 is approximately when the green flag came back out. So Ken Peck has led all those laps since then, I do believe, as last time they were on pit road was lap 67 for the leaders. So keep an eye on that, as pit road should be a place to be here in just a matter of a handful of laps as they work back down the start finish line into the tri-oval. Looks like that second lane is starting to get some momentum. 4 cars up there. Looks like Harris, Rodriguez, Hetrix, and Garnes not quite able to pull even with the leader yet, but definitely got up beside Robinson in third, and now definitely door to door with that number second place car, and now door to door with the lead as they work their way by. A big push from Travis Rodriguez down the back straightaway is going to propel Cam Harris to the front, but as they get into turn 3 and before that gap is going to go the wrong way, a lot of speed through the corners with a lot of speed on the straightaway for that outside line. Harris and Rodriguez on the top line for the first time since the start of stage number 2. We have a new race leader, the 27 of Cam Harris, back to the front of this one, but don't look too far back in that outside row. The 25 Josh Hetrix, who had a good stage 1 run, led upwards, I believe, 24 laps in that first stage. He is looking to get back to the top of the scoring pylon, that's where he wants to be here. As they work down into turn 3 and 4. Hetrix will lead the way by a marginal amount as they exit turn 4 and come back down to the start finish line. See if Hetrix can take the lead back from Cam Harris this time. Ooh, yeah, looks like Hetrix able to lead that lap at the line. So we'll put Hetrix back on top of the pylon for now. Only 3 cars up there. Pretty well. They ran down that inside line, and Hetrix holding on door to door. It'll be a drag race down the back. Who has the best help and best bumps as they head down to turn number 3. Again, keeping in mind pit road. The pit window is to make it to the end of stage number 2 has been open. So they can make it from this point. Only 25 laps to go in the stage. As we complete lap 105 this time out of turn 4. So some of the cars are headed down pit road. A good chunk of them will head down pit road, but the top 4 all stay out. 6 cars actually stay on track this time as the rest of the field heads on to pit road. Let's see how the pit stops go, if they're long or short. Might be fuel only at this point of the race, but no, it looks like some are taking tires. So Ken Peck down and away, so is Sovereign in the 1. Here comes the rest of the cars off of pit road. They'll get themselves organized and headed on the flats of turn 1 and 2 before they can come back up to pit road, off of the access road and back up to racing speed. As I say that, the rest of the field will dip down to pit road to complete the pit stop cycle. Snyder already headed out. He is again off the pace in this one, so he was already 1 lap down here in this one. So now the other, 6 cars on pit road, S3 Hetrix. Then you got Nelson and Steinhoff all there on pit road. Here they come as they're going to exit pit road. Looks like one car is slow to get out of the box, the Nelson 75. So we'll see how these cars make out, if they will be able to beat out the group of cars coming pitted 1 lap earlier. Hetrix would be the leader if this holds up, but those cars on the Speedway probably have a full head of steam of momentum. We'll see how it plays out as Hetrix all by himself. That's not exactly the place you want to be. You can see all the other cars are gaining momentum on him on the outside line. You got Ken Pack, Kurdzlek, and Sobrin. They should easily be able to get around the 25 of Hetrix to move themselves into first, second, and third in this one. No help for Hetrix quite yet. See if he can get on the back of this group and hang on to their draft as a little group of 6 cars are in that second pack. Now Hetrick unable to hold on to that group in front of him. He's kind of running in no man's land right now in between the 2 groups. He is probably going to fall backwards into the grasp of the Lorfano 8, the Rodriguez 7. Maybe they can work together to close that gap back down on those first 3, Pack, Kurdzlek, and Sobrin. 1, 2, 3 down the back straightaway. Then you have Hetrix, Lorfano, that's Rodriguez, Essery, Steinhoff, Tyrone Mill, and Greg Robinson in the top 10 at this point. We'll see if Robinson can keep his perfect afternoon going. Obviously started on the pole, so on that one stage number 1, and now he's trying to work and score some points in stage number 2, but he's at the back end of the top 10, so he's got some work to do here over the last 20 or so laps of stage number 2. Gap is definitely shrinking between the 2 groups here, as Hetrix is looking to roll up in on the back of the Sauber machine. The gap is all but gone now between those 2 cars, so they work on now a single file line as they work through on the lap car of Dave Hera. He will feed to the inside of them and try and get a run. Sovereign, he drops to the bottom, looking to go under Kurdzlek as they cross the line. He's got no help. So we went from all the cars running on the bottom to now all the cars running on the top. And I say that the 16 and the 41 will both drop to the bottom, and now you have Lorfano, Hetrix, and Rodriguez working that top side down the back straightaway, side by side for the lead. Pack and Hetrix nose to nose here as they head down the back straightaway. Actually, as I say that, the top 3 all able to clear, as they are able to clear Ken Peck, but he's going to go crisscross that. He's also going out to the outside, give a push to Hetrix, who didn't drop to the bottom. So Travis Rodriguez and Dave Lorfano now move back to the front of this one. Lorfano will lead the lap. Rodriguez, Kurdzlek, Sobrin, and then Hetrick in 5th. Only 2 cars running that outside, and they are going the wrong way on a one-way street as they have lost all their momentum as the inside row works right by them. Now Ken Pack thinks better of that. He'll drop to the bottom, get back in line, and see if he can make up some ground late in this one. As I was mentioning earlier, Robinson looking to keep his perfect afternoon going. He is now up to 7th, so 10th earlier, 7th now, with about 19 laps to go in the stage, so still some time to get it done, but in a better position than he was just a handful of laps ago. Still working out there, and we have a new fast time on the afternoon. Dave Lorfano has set a lap time of 45.934, so Dave Lorfano now in position to score the bonus point for the fastest lap of the afternoon, right behind him. Only 1/100th of a second off with a 45.944. That is none other than Travis Rodriguez in the 7th car. So new fast time here on the charts for the number 8 car, moving him into the points paying position. As I mentioned, new this year, the fastest driver, or the driver with the fastest lap in every points-paying event this season, will score 1 bonus point, and that will go to his regular or his season total. Obviously, still paying that point in the playoffs, except when it comes down to the championship, that the top 4 cars will not be eligible for the fastest lap point in that last race. Everyone else will be, but the 4 championship contenders will not be. So at this point, Dave Lorfano sitting with the fast lap here as we are working on lap 113 of 200. Past the halfway mark, so it's all downhill from here for these guys as they continue to work single file along that yellow line, weaving like a snake down the back straightaway though. So the air buffers these cars around. Obviously, try to hold a straight line, not running over the guy in front of you, and not swerving all over the place so you get a bad push from the back. So a lot of stuff going on for these guys in these cars right here out front. But up front, you have Los Santos Police Department Officer Lorfano leading the way over Travis Rodriguez, and Curtis Sullivan, Chris Esri are your top 5 at this point. Ryan Steinhoff, Greg Robinson, Tyrone Ken Pack, and Josh Hetrick's your top 10. Larry Garnes, Cameron Harris, and James Nelson sitting further back off the draft have lost the group and are not sitting in the pack. And then Chad Snyder 1 lap down at this point. Horlander 17 laps down on pit road. I believe Sean Horlander has retired from this one, so a DNF for the number 9 right here on the 2025 season. And then Dave Hara sitting currently 46 laps off the pace. Should be able to, with enough laps between now and the other, should be able to at least get past the Horlander number 9 car. One big change for this season that I want to point out here, not in effect tonight, but starting potentially next week at Atlanta. Haven't got final confirmation on that. There will be no fast repairs at non-super speedway tracks with Atlanta. Not sure on where we land on that. So anyways, at Daytona and Talladega, all drivers will be eligible for 1 free pass. So what that means is if you get in an accident and your car becomes inoperable, you can bring it down pit road to the pit crew, and with the click of a button you can initiate a fast repair, which will fix your car back to the condition it was when it started the race. Now if you get in a second accident, tough luck, you've already used your fast repair. You're going to have to let the pit crew do the manual labor to get it back into racing shape. The big change this year obviously is no fast repairs at all at any track that is not a super speedway. So when 3 weeks from now, when the season kicks off its first non-restrictor plate race at, I believe, Circuit of the Americas, so road course racing 3 weeks from tonight. It looks like there will be no fast repair for that, and then especially that will really come into play at Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Homestead races 4, 5, and 6 on the season. Again, no fast repairs for these guys, so it hopefully will clean up the racing for us this year. Obviously, not having that fast repair, no one wants to end the night on, say, lap 10 or 11. They want to make it to the end of this one, because to score the points you got to be there at the end, right? So that'll be something we'll keep an eye on as the season develops and see how that can possibly shape up the point standings, race in and race out, with drivers potentially ending the race early if they have an accident that they need to have some serious repairs done for. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see how it plays out, as I mentioned. But right now we're crossing the line. We've got 117 complete of 200 working here in the back half of this one. After past the halfway point, as Dave Lorfano continues to lead in the middle part of this 500-mile, 200-lap event. everyone should have enough fuel to get to the end of the stage, so just a matter of riding it out, getting yourself in a position to score some stage points. And obviously, again, 10 points to the stage lead. Drops by 1 between 10th. 1 point drops by 1 from 10th on down to, or first on down to 10th, and then more importantly, that 1 playoff point that gets added to your playoff total when we go racing in the fall. Kurdzilek, Sobran, Essery, Steinhoff, Robinson, Ken Pack, all the way back to 8th after leading on the stage earlier in the run. Tyrone Yo 9th, Josh Hedrick sits back there in 10th. Larry Garnes, Cam Harris, and James Nelson are all 13th. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, have lost the back of the pack, so just hanging on. Hoping to get to the end of lap 130 before losing a lap and needing to use a lucky dog. Right now, the lucky dog car on the track is the Snyder 26. He is right there in amongst this lead group of cars. That beautiful gold plate graphics. Chase Luck, number 26, Salt Motorsports Camry. So in a position right now, as long as Unix gets past to gain the lucky dog, the Night Owl So's Lucky Dog Award, putting himself back on the lead lap at this point. But still, 9 laps to go before we get to there and see who gets that lucky dog. But right now, it continues to be Dave Lorfano up front, with Rodriguez, Kurdzilek, Sobran, and Essery, the top 5. Looking to get a second lane going here as Robinson ducks out of line. He thinks he has a little bit of help from Tyrone Yo, but thought better of that. Tyrone got back down and pulled back out, but now Kurdzilek goes to the outside. Speeding in position for door on Sobran, who tried to make a move up to the inside, but Kurdzilek able to get back down. Now we got Robinson going back around the outside of the Steinhoff 74, a little further back. Ken Peck going to make a move from the inside to the outside. He's going to try to help that 3 car. They need to move up to the front. 8 laps to go in the stage, and James Nelson has a target on his back as he is about to go 1 lap down to the field as they catch up to him halfway down the back straightaway. Nelson will hold the car on the yellow line, as everyone else should be able to file around him as they work down into turn 4. Stay with the draft now. He moves into the Night Owl So's Lucky Dog position. That's going to slow James Nelson in position to get his lap back at the end of the stage if he is not involved in a caution between now and then. Laps complete. They work again through turns 1 and 2. Now Sobran looking to get some help from Robinson on the outside. Back in line a little bit there behind the Kurdzilek 41. See if Lorfano and Rodriguez, 2 All-American Racing League regulars, here on the inside as now the outside gets from and the 3 AARL pushing the way to the front. Sobran, Robinson, and then Ken Pack will lead that. Trail that as now side by side at the line with Sobran, maybe nosing himself out at the line possibly to lead that lap, but definitely clear of him now. See if they can duck back down in front of the bottom. Robinson definitely says, I'm going to the bottom, get out of my way, Curtis. As Robinson now to the top of the leaderboard as he works down the back straightaway. Robinson very comfortable here on these super speedways, always has a good showing at the end of the afternoon, but so far, like I mentioned earlier, pole, the stage 1 victory in stage 2 as they work down across the line to complete lap 124 in the books. 76 to the left time at the line. side though. Up front was Sobran and Robinson. They head down the back straightaway. 2 wide, 4 rows deep as they work into turn 3 and 4 now. Bottom side gets a little bit of speed through the corner, but here comes the top side battling back with that bright red number 1 machine looking on the pole, or looking on the top side for the front of this one. A push coming from Lorfano to the back of the 3. Not sure who led that lap. It was pretty damn close at the start finish line as they head down towards turn 1 and 2. Still side by side, 3 rows deep now, with 1 lap car in the mix. The 27 there, that is Chad Snyder. He is 2 laps down, so he looks to be trying to get a lap back the hard way as if he gets in front of the leaders before the caution comes out. Snyder will get one of his 2 laps back. Not in a position right now to score the lucky dog. That belongs to James Nelson. As they come up on the back of the 15 Hero machine, going another lap down, unfortunately, after missing a portion of the race where on pit road earlier. Now they're bumping and banging off of turn 4 as the 3 car got out of shape trying to get around Hare. That's going to jam up the top row and open the door for the bottom row to say, sayonara, sucker, we're out of here. Lorfano, Rodriguez, and Kurdzlek all move back to the inside and back underneath the 3 car to the front. Lorfano back to the top of the scoring pylon here with 4 laps to go before the end of the stage as we work lap 127 out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Lorfano, Rodriguez, Kurdzlek, Robinson, Sobran, your top 5, then 2 lap cars. You got Officer Hillbilly and the 26 of Snyder in there, both looking to get back up to the front, seeing if they can get 1 lap back the hard way. Obviously, the key for Snyder is to get back at least only 1 lap down, as like I said, not in a position for the Night Owl So's Lucky Dog Award at this point. Now, Sobran looks to go to the top side, see if he can get some help from the 15 and the 26, but they have lost a bit of ground and going the wrong way as Ken Peck will go by on the inside. Lap 128 now, working that one, should see the 2 to go in the stage as they come back to the line. That'll close pit road, so it'll be a race to the stage finish. Here comes a big push from Sobran in that 1 car to the back of the Robinson 3s, even with the Rodriguez 2nd place car. Now they look to go after the 8 of Lorfano. As they come out of turn 4, big run on the outside, get a 3rd car helping there from Ken Pack, but he gets left high and dry by Sobran and Robinson as they cross the line. Pit road closes, 2 laps to go on the stage. Now they go back up to the top to help a bit of Ken Peck, but now think better of that and go back to the bottom to block the run from Lorfano, Rodriguez, and Kurdzlek around the inside. Big push from Rodriguez to the back of the 8 car as they exit turn number 2. Big push as they get together there, the 1 and the 3 headed down the back straightaway, bumper to bumper as they head down to turn 3 and 4. They're in control of this one as they come around, and it should be 1 lap to go to the end of the stage this time, as Lorfano has nowhere to go, but now Sobran goes, I'm going to make a move, I'm going to the outside of Robinson. Lorfano, big bump to the back of the 3, that's going to propel him clear of the 1 car that time as they come out of back down to turn number 1, Robinson in control of this one, but Sobran got help from Kurdzlek coming on the top side. Still Robinson, Lorfano, Rodriguez on the bottom, Sobran and Kurdzlek going to battle on the top side. Big run potentially coming from the 41 to the back of the 1. 15, or the 8, goes up to make a move. The 3 car blocks. That's going to slow those 2 cars down and let Sobran and the 41, Kurdzlek and Ken Peck get a good run through 3 and 4. Looks like Robinson might not be able to get this one back around in the lead as Sobran and all 3 of those cars on the outside able to clear Robinson as they come down to the stripe across the line. Looks like Sobran will win the stage as the caution is out in this one as we got a wreck. Let's see what happened, because as they came to the end of the stage, some of the cars got together and we have an accident. Let's take a look at the replay. So it looks like Hera pushing the second car after they cross the line, just gets into the left rear corner pin, spins him down the track into the right of Lorfano, and then unfortunately into the 2 of Tyler to go. So push from the 15 car after the caution gets the 7 into the 8, and then they get into the 2. So not the way you want to end a stage, that's for sure. None of those cars end up getting the meatball flag out of that, so no one will be needing to use a fast repair, but they will definitely have to bring the car down pit road to the attention of their pit crew, as they will have some damage from that accident. Up front, stage winner in that one will be the one of Curtis Sobran, getting help from Mike Kurdzlek in the 41 and Ken Pack in the 16. Fourth place to the 3 of Robinson, then Rodriguez, Dave Lorfano, Tyrone Yo, Ryan Steinhoff, Larry Garrence, and Cam Harris, all scoring points there inside the top 10 at the end of that stage. So pit road should open this time by for the field. We will step away for a second while pit stops cycle through, and we will be right back on the other side of this to reset the lineup for the run to the finish and the start of the third and final stage here from the All-American Racing League's Daytona 500 on the SimWorld Racing Network. Welcome back to the Daytona International Speedway. You're watching the SimWorld Racing Network's presentation of the All-American Racing League's Cup Series' Daytona 500. So it looks like pit stops have completed and the field is resetting itself here. Should be getting the 1 to go this time at the line. Looks like Greg Robinson will go from the first place here on the restart. We'll let the cars get doubled up, and we'll give you a rundown of the lineup for the restart of this one. We are on the last stretch here as we get set to start the third and final stage. We'll go green with 134 laps complete, just 66 laps to go before we crown the 2025 Daytona 500 champion and lock our first car into the playoffs here for the 2025 season. So it looks like it's going to be Robinson on the inside and Ken Pack on the outside. Michael Kurdzlek will go From the inside of row 2, outside him, Curtis Sovereign. Cam Harris and I believe Larry Garnes will make up row number 3. Josh Hetricks and Ryan Steinhoff in row number 4. Dave Lorfano and Tyrone Yo will make up row number 5. And you got James Nelson, the recipient of the Night Owl So's Lucky Dog Award. Back there at the back, he will be just behind the Chad Snyder 26, who now is in a position himself for a lucky dog. I'm not sure if he stayed out to get a wave around or not, but he is in a position just one lap down here at this point in the race. There's James Nelson in that 75, that recipient of the Night Owl So's Lucky Dog Award on this latest caution, which is, let's see here if it tells us, third caution of the afternoon. That's, I don't think that is correct. Maybe 1, 2, oh no, that is right. Third caution of the afternoon here as we get set to go back to racing. Looks like everyone just jockeying for position here at the tail end, making sure they're in the right spot. Greg Robinson, though, will be the control car. They hit the Geico restart zone. Robinson drops the hammer, and we are back to racing here. Green flag is back out. 135 laps will be complete next time they come back around. So 134 complete, 66 to go. Robinson on the inside, getting a push from Kurzlek to 16. That is Ken Peck. He is on the outside. He is getting help from Curtis Sovereign, the stage 2 winner. Down the back straightaway they go. 2 by 2 they head towards turn number 3. Let's see how this third and final stage plays out. Obviously about 66 laps to go in this one, so one pit stop will get them to the end of this. As long as there's no additional cautions, then they may pit more than that, but right now, if it stays clean and green, one pit stop will get you to the end of the 500. Down into turns 1 and 2 continues to be Robinson, Kurzlek. Cam Harris now clear on the inside, so is Hetricks. Lorfano looking to clear the 16 of Ken Peck a little further back to take over 5th position. See if these guys will drop down to the bottom. They do. That's Peck, Sovereign, and Larry Garnes now dropping to the inside to stay in line with the cars in front of them. So it looks like early here in the stage we're going to go with the single file running. As I say that, a little further back we got some 2 wide battling, Steinhoff and Yo. We got Essery, and that is the 75 of Nelson. You got Chad Snyder, who is 1 lap down at this point, and then Rodriguez is 7 back there. So now you have Nelson on the outside all by himself as Tyrone drops to the bottom of this one. They work their way through turns number 1 and 2 up front, though. Robinson continues to lead the train of cars over Kurzlek, Hetricks, and Lorfano down the back straightaway. Heads down, turn 1 and 2 again. 137 complete here. We continue to run single file. This gives you a great view of the side-to-side drafting effect that these cars are under when they're down on the straightaways. Well, at any point on the track, but more substantially down the straightaways, you can see them kind of drifting from left to right, right to left on your screen. Same thing will probably happen here as they come out of turn 4 and head down the tri-oval to the start-finish line. turn 3, still all single file in this lead pack, nose to tail, tail to nose, as they work their way through 3 and 4 down to complete lap 139. The 10 o'clock hour here on the Eastern time, in the Eastern time zone, 10 o'clock, as we have 61 laps to go here this time, and we have a second lane developing on the top side. That is James Nelson leading the way over Chad Snyder there on the outside as they work down to turns 3 and 4 again. Still working on the outside, haven't made up too much ground yet, but seeing what they can build here, trying to learn something here in the middle part of the third and final stage as we head towards the end of this race. Down to turn 1 and 2 here on lap 141. The field works its way, still being led by Greg Robinson. Similar start to stage 3 as we saw in stage number 2. A lot of single file riding around the bottom. Obviously, what really threw a wrench into stage number 2 was the pit stops that really jumped up the field and got some of the cars that were running up front in towards the middle and back of the field, but now they are working their way single file here as we start to see a second line developing. Nelson, Snyder, Rodriguez, and Hera. 4 cars on the outside, 2 of them 1 lap down or more, that being Snyder and Hera. Nelson and Rodriguez, though, currently on the lead lap as Hera's looking to complete more laps here momentarily than Sean Horlander, so that'll gain Hera a position here with 60 or so laps to go in this one. 58 that is, as the Nelson machine still tries to work that outside line. Definitely got some help from Snyder developing, so we'll keep an eye on them as they are now even nose to nose with the 5th place car, Dave Lorfano, through turns 3 and 4. So definitely making some ground up on that top side is Nelson and Snyder as they continue to push. 2 cars on the outside a little further back, not really offering much help to those guys. Now, though, as I say that, they are able to close right up to the back bumper of the Snyder machine on this one into turn 1 and 2. That outside groove is kind of stymied out around the 5th place car of Lorfano, though. We'll see if they can get any ground on the back straightaway. Big bump from the 26 to the back of 75. That's going to let them clear the 5th place car of Lorfano. Now go to work on the 25 and the 27, who sit in 3rd and 4th cars on that inside line. Now the outside loses a little ground on the exit, but we'll see if they can really gain it with the straight line speed that we see. 7 of Harris jumps up out of the bottom line to get in front of the 75 and get a push to the front. Cam Harris looks to put himself in a position to take the lead away from Greg Robinson as that top side continues to drive towards the front. It'll be interesting to see who drops to the bottom once they clear the Robinson 3, as the Harris 27 definitely has cleared, and now he's going to bring the 75 clear with him. Will Snyder be able to clear Robinson also? He is, and those 3 will drop to the bottom, leaving Travis on the outside high and dry down into turn number 3. Rodriguez, though, does have help from Dave Hera and the 2 car of Tyrone Yo still on the outside, but the 3 cars that were able to clear the Robinson down. So keep an Rodriguez sitting 2 laps off the pace. Apologize earlier when I said 1. He is actually still 2 laps down at this point. Harris continues to lead the way here over Nelson and Robinson. The 4th car in line is that 3 car as they head down the back straight. A big bump from the 75 to the back of Cam Harris's 27 as they head into turn number 3 and 4. Here as we get down to almost the final 50 laps on the afternoon as the top line looks to form up again. A group of All-American Racing League regulars are up there being led, I believe, by Lorfano in the 8. Now he's got Hetrick's on the back bumper. Snyder's going to jump up in front and try to use them. Oh, the caution is out. We must have had an incident that we missed. Caution is out on the racetrack. Looks like there is an incident between Tyrone Yo and Dave Hare. We'll see if we can grab a replay of that. Looked like he was trying to make a move down to the bottom groove. Thought he was clear of Tyrone. Unfortunately, not the case. And both of those cars make heavy contact with the outside wall and each other, giving Tyrone Yo the mechanical meatball flag, so he will have to bring it down pit road to the attention of his crew, as he still does have faster repair remaining, so he will have to 15, got a big run on the second. Don't think he was looking to go right to the bottom. Just enough to get out of line behind Sims and run another, but then Tyrone just gets into the back as the 15 crowded Tyrone down. And the result is right there on your screen, both cars getting into a tussle. Tyrone getting the bad end of the deal, having to use that fast repair when he comes back around to pit road. So Cam Harris will be the leader at the time of the caution over James Nelson, Greg Robinson, Mike Kurdzlek, and Dave Lorfano. A little too early to make it to the end on fuel, as it'll be 52 laps remaining this time at the line, so still too early. As I mentioned, the longest we saw them run earlier in the race was 39 laps, so we'll see who comes down to pit road. Looks like everyone but the lap car of Chad Snyder headed to the attention of their pit crew. This time on pit road, we'll see Chad there staying out on track. Obviously, he will be the lucky dog, is the reason why. He will get 1 lap back that time. He will still be 1 lap down to the field, but 1 lap closer to being back in contention of this one. Looks like Tyrone Yo, a bit of issue getting into his pit stall, backing way up, so definitely overshot his pit stall. Oh no, just had to get the car off the wall, it looks like. So there he goes. He will be able to use that fast repair now. His first car off of pit road that time is Kurdzlek, Ken Pack, Travis Rodriguez, Josh Hetrick, and Curtis Sodman. So first 5 cars off of pit road, sub 10-second pit stops. I am safe to assume that they took fuel only in those cars. And then Nelson, Harris, Robinson, Lorfano, all with 14.7 second, 15-second pit stops, meaning 4 tires and fuel. Larry Garnes, sub 10, so he might have taken fuel only. And then Steinhoff and Tyrone Yo, both 15-second pit stops. Obviously Tyrone using that fast repair to get that car back into mechanical shape, and he was joining the tail end of the field. So as the temperature has coming down a little bit here, as we see we are down to about 72 degrees, the track temp down to about 76. So things cooling off as we get towards the later part of this one. Sim times currently showing 10 minutes to 5, so 4:50 in Sim World time, as the race went green at about 2 o'clock Sim time. We are at 2 hours and 10 minutes of racing in the books 51 laps to go this time at the line. They should get the 1 to go signal from the starter, and they will lights off on the pace truck, and then we'll see the field double up coming to green next time with exactly 50 laps to go from Daytona. So front row will be Kurdzlek and Ken Peck. Row 2, Travis Rodriguez and Curtis Sobrin. Row 3, that'll be the Nelson 75 and the Capital Sign Company number 25. That is Josh Hetrick's back there. And then behind them, looks like that is Cam Harris and Greg Robinson. And then Dave Lorfano and Larry Garnes will join in there. In the next row there is Steinhoff, and then should see Tyrone Yo after getting his fast repair, and Chris Essery just trying to catch up to the field before they go back racing. That's a lengthier pit stop for Essery. Maybe had some damage fixed, not 100% sure, but he will get caught back up here, or at least attempt to get caught back up here before the field goes back racing. So up front, as I mentioned, Kurdzlek leading the way over Ken Peck, Travis Rodriguez, Curtis Sobrin, and James Nelson in the 75 round out the top 5. So, field's too wide, 7 or 8 rows deep, 50 laps to go when they take the green flag. Mike Kurdzlek, the control car, and will roll them into the Geico restart zone. The green flag will be displayed once he drops the hammer, and it is out. Green is back out, and we are back underway as the cars stumble and rumble down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Kurdzlek cruise the outside, though he's going to jump up in the front and back and push from here. That's going to leave the door open for Rodriguez and Nelson going along. So the first two on the outside make the decision to close that door and come back down to the bottom. But no, they stay whole and true to the outside line as they got 5 cars strung together on the outside. The inside has 3 cars, or 4 cars, Rodriguez, Nelson, Harris, and that is the 8 of Lorfano. But the outside row is still staying strong as Kurdzlek will lead off of turn number 4 down towards the stripe to complete lap 151. Now the top side, top 3 will clear the inside as Sobrin, Ken Peck, and Kurdzlek will all slide in front of Rodriguez to say, no, not happening. I'm going to the outside. He's going to use the Hetrick's bumper to see if he can get back up beside these guys that just switch lanes in front of him. 3 cars on the outside developing up there. That's Robinson giving the big push at the back to Hetrick's, who's giving the push to Rodriguez as they work down the back straightaway. Out front of this one here on the bottom, still leading the way, Kurdzlek. The outside though, still trying to use open. They've lost a bit of ground that time, but now Rodriguez back down to the bottom is going to get a bump by the 75 as he gets down pretty close to the front of him. Let's see if they're able to sort that out and keep things going. They sure are. The top side high and dry. And Robinson might need some contact with the ball for corners 1 and 2. We'll keep an eye here on these cars now as everyone single file back down to the bottom line as they work down the back straightaway. Up front, we continue to see the 41 lead the way here as we complete 153 of the 200 scheduled distance. Rodriguez gets a run out of turn number 4. He's going to go to the top, but he's going to get no help as he's Harris will go right through it into the top 5. That's going to move Rodriguez back to 6 now on the outside of 5. Looking in. turn number 4, or sorry, turn number 2 they come. Still the top, what's that, 8, 9 cars? 4, 8, 9 cars. Single file moves to tail down the back straightaway. Almost 3-second gap between 9th and 10th. Steinhoff, Esser, Yo back there in that second group with Snyder, Garnes, and Hera. Oh, Hera back there. Or no, Hera should just be. Some of those cars there in line running their fastest laps of the race that time across the start finish line. James Nelson there still holds on to the fastest lap of the race with a 45.690 is the time to beat to score that one bonus point. Five. Number 1 and 2 as they exit onto the back straightaway. Still Kurgelek out front of this one. Ken Peck, Curtis Sauburn right there behind him in second and third. Nelson and Harris fourth and fifth. As the sun begins to set here over Daytona International Speedway, under 50 laps to go. We get to the 42 laps to go that time at the line, so it'll be 41 next time they come back around to the stripe. But business is bound to pick up. I hope we get down to those last 40 laps, and the big money is on the line at the end of this one. Thanks for watching the Sim World Racing Network's presentation of the All-American Racing League Cup Series, live from Daytona, the All-American Racing League Daytona 500, the 2025 version, and the kickoff to the 2025 Cup season. 36 races following the identical NASCAR Cup Series schedule every Thursday night from now until November, with the exception of the Thursday before Easter weekend. We will have an off week, and then we'll get right back at it for a stretch that'll bring us from February right through to the end of October. This season runs 36 races in 37 weeks, so happy you could join us. Do our best to bring you a live broadcast every Thursday night, and we love to have you here with us online and watching from around the world, wherever you are. Thanks for watching. Make sure if you see us post a link to the races, you share on your social media, your Facebook or Twitter or wherever you like to share, and whatever social media you dabble in, to spread the word about the All-American Racing League Cup Series, because it's some great racing week in and week out with a solid field of drivers. 16 drivers started tonight's race. Currently 15 of them currently still running on track. Chad Snyder and Larry Burns. We're going to be 1 lap down, but Larry is about to go 2 laps down. So Chad Snyder 1 lap down, Larry 2, and then Dave Hara running in 15th, unfortunately. 49 laps off the pace here after early, lengthy pit stop. Took him out of competition for us 46 laps, as I mentioned. But still a lot of racing to go here. 48 laps till we get to the end of it. Nope, is that right? Yeah, that's right. Nope, 39 laps until we get to the end of this one. So we're almost there. We're sticking it out, and we've got 500 miles of distance to cover, and we've covered a good portion of it. So just hang out with us for the last portion of this race as we get down to the nitty-gritty of this one and try to crown our 2025 Daytona 500 champion in a matter of 38 laps. Time across the line, it would be 38 to go as 162 complete. Kurdzlek, Pack, Sovereign, Nelson, Cameron, Harris continue to lead the way. Then you have Rodriguez, Lorfano, Robinson, Hetrix, and then Steinhoff, Essery, Tyrone, Yo, and I mentioned Chad Snyder 1 lap down, and Larry Garnes 2 laps down, and then Dave Hara 49 laps down at this point. So keep an eye on all these cars running up front in this one. Only 1 caution for incident so far. 2 stage cautions, 1 caution for incident. So been a pretty clean and green race up until this point. Knock on wood. Don't want to jinx it because we want to finish this one strong. Bring all these cars home in one piece with a great finish over here. And just about 30 plus laps. Field works its way to 3 and 4, and not really making any moves here in the middle part, I guess, of stage number 3. Everyone's just trying to ride it out and get down to the end of this one. 36 laps still that time at the line for the field. Everyone trying to ride this one out, because as I mentioned right off the top, to win this one, first you got to finish, and 500 miles is a long way to go without issues, and so far so good for most of these cars here this afternoon. Continues to work here through turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. 35 to go. Opening there between the first, second, and third place cars. across the line, 32 laps to go. The complete lap 160. Teams left, Ken Peck, Sobran, Nelson, Harris, still your top 5 as they've been for the last handful of laps pretty much since the start of the stage. Again, the sun sets here over Daytona International Speedway as the field rips and roars down the back straightaway. On board the QFR-RL roof cam, this is the Auto Show 75 Ford Mustang of James Nelson sitting in that 4th position as we head out of turn 24. You see how low that sun is. Not quite low enough to be in the driver's eyes quite yet, but well on its way as we work our way to the end of this one. Crossing the line, 32 to go. Further back, we'll jump on board with the roof cam of Officer Lorfano from the LSPD as he works his way. Currently sitting in 7th there. That is the Americana Automotive number 7 Ford of Travis Rodriguez in front of him. So they work their way together. Single file nose to tail down the back straightaway. Was passing that bus stop used at the 24 hours of Daytona race. Let's take a quick look here at something. We'll kind of get an idea of where we stand and the potential of changing the end of this race. So all these cars last on pit road at lap. Oops, sorry, we gotta go to this one. So they've been on track for 22 laps since the last time they pitted. Excuse me. So, like we mentioned earlier there, you can see on the left-hand side of the graphic, the longest they went was 39 laps. That was some in stage 1 and some from the start of stage 2 to the pit stop. So we're currently sitting at 22 laps for most of these, or all of these drivers since they last pitted. So still 17 laps before we'll see anybody come down pit road to top that fuel tank off. Obviously we saw what pit stops did in the second stage. It really jumbled up the running order and kind of flipped things on its head. Obviously a bad pit stop, a bad green flag pit stop at this time of the race is almost a sentence for near disaster. If you, it's hard to overcome a poor green flag flits. Oh my goodness, green flag pit stop here at Daytona. Obviously, need everything to go right. You got to hit your marks. The crew has to hit their marks, and you got to have that fuel only sub 10-second pit stop to stay with those cars around you. Because once you lose that draft, you're pretty much bamboozled from having much success here without any help. So we saw that happen, like I mentioned, in the second stage. The green flag pit stops got everyone all broken up, which turned the running order on its head and sorted itself out as we got back towards the end of the stage. But still, guys who were running up front ended up running towards the back, and it just was a bit of a, not a calamity, but definitely changed some race positioning by having a poor pit stop there in that middle stage. So we'll see how it plays out here. Like I mentioned, we're about 15 laps away from the end of a fuel run. Whether they'll wait it out that entire time or they will come down earlier to pit. Obviously, the more cars that you come down to pit with, the better your chance of not getting left behind and there being someone to work with. But in these cars, it's just so hard, for a smaller group to close the gap like it was in the other stock cars, even the Xfinity cars or the truck cars. 2 or 3 cars can work together in those other 2 divisions and make up some definite lost ground. We're here in these next-gen Cup style cars, definitely hard to make up any lost ground to the cars around you. So important pit stop coming up in probably about 12, 13, 14 laps. We'll watch it all unfold here as we get down to 26 laps to go. So just shy of 25 to go as we work our way through this one. And Harris flashing in and out there, a few cars up. Let's jump up a little further In this one, we will ride on board the backwards looking auto serve roof cam. We're on board the Kurd Select 41 up front, leading Ken Pack right there, and then that is Curtis Sovereign in third, and then James Nelson, Cam Harris fourth and fifth. So big push coming from Peck as they get to the end of the back trailer, shoveling down into turn number 3. This time at the line will complete lap 175. 25 laps to go. In this one, we have 1/8 the distance left to finish this one here this afternoon. Running out front continues to be the butt kicker Moza Motorsports, number 41, and Mike Kurdzak. Behind him, the Prisma Health, American Heart Association, 16 Camaro of Ken Pack. And then right behind them, that Bass Pro Shops, Tracker Boats, Chevrolet, number 1 of Curtis Sovereign. And then another 4 running in fourth. That is James Nelson in that auto serve, number 75. And rounding out the top 5 still, the Mobile 1 Toyota, that is Cam Harris right there in that beautiful gray, black, and white machine. Then right behind him, that is Travis Rodriguez sitting there in that 6th position. Officer Lorfano once back in the number 8 LSPD machine. And then you have race pole sitter Greg Robinson, obviously right there in the Busch Latte Busch Light number 3 car. And then you have right now running in the 9th position, the Grand Collision Capital Signs Go Orlon Carousel Motorsports number 25, Josh Hetrick. And then a little further back to the 10th place car, they're about 9 seconds behind the lead pack. That is the 74 of Ryan Steinhoff. He is behind the 26 of Chad Snyder, who is 1 lap down in that Blues Race Designs Rebellion Graphics number 26. Then you have right there in front of him the 15. That is Dave Hillbilly Hera, or Officer Hillbilly as he likes to be referred to. In the back there running in the 11th spot, that is the Chris Essery number 4. Tyrone Yo back there in 12th. He is the last car on the lead. Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm confused. I believe Chad is still 1 lap down. So Tyrone is the last car on the lead lap. And then we have Chad Snyder, who is 1 lap down to the field at this point. Right there in the middle, driving, like I said, that beautiful gold, white, and blue Assault Motorsports Toyota. Up front, though, doesn't appear much has changed since we last visited with them, as Kurdzak continues to lead the way over Pack, Sovereign, Nelson, and Harris. 1, 2, 3, 4 as we were 21 to go that time across the line. So looking for 20 laps to go next time the field rolls back around on turn number 4. To go that time at the line for Kurdzak. He leads the way again over Ken Peck as they work their way down through turns 1 and 2. We get down to the final 20 laps, and we should start soon. The battles start now. Down the back straightaway, under 20 laps to go here from Daytona, the All-American Racing League Daytona 500 on the Sim World Racing Network. Hopefully we can see the action ratchet up here as we get down to the nitty-gritty end of this one. Been riding around here single file for a good majority of the race, saving those cars for when they need them, and that time should be now. As the field crosses the line, 17 to go at the line. Kurtzlek, Peck, Sauber, Nelson, Harris still out front, looking for 5. Rodriguez, Lorfano, Robinson, Hetrick, 6 through 9. Then the big gap back to Steinhoff, Essery, Tyrone Yo. Then 1 lap down, Chad Snyder, Larry Garnes 2 laps down, and Dave Hara hanging in with that back group there, but unfortunately 49 laps off the pace. That can change the whole event is coming up here in just a matter of laps, as this will be 36 laps on this tank of fuel. And pit stops are due shortly, so let's make sure we're tuned in for that, because that is what can change the outcome of this one for any of these drivers here still running on the lead lap. A good pit stop can propel you up the leaderboard, and a bad one will drop you down it. So a lot of attention will be put on these crews. Driver's got to hit his marks, make sure he's not speeding, stop on the pit board, and let the crew do their thing, but you got to be there to let them know. Here we go, it's pit stop time at Daytona. Everyone gets on the pit load. Lorfano locking up the brakes there to make sure he stays under the speed limit. Looks like everyone clean and green. No penalties for anyone on pit road. Essery and Steinhoff stay out as they will pass everyone on pit road. They still do have to make that pit stop though, but this is the make it or break it stop as the cars battle for the exit of pit road. First car off will be Robinson. You can see them all getting back going. As I say that, it looks like Pack and Kurtzlek able to see by Robinson on the pit exit. So Ken Pack is going to be the lead car coming off of pit road, followed by Kurtzlek, Robinson, Sauber, Rodriguez, Harris, Nelson, Hetrick, Lorfano, Tyrone Yo. As the other 2 cars, Steinhoff and Essery, hit pit road that time, so they'll look to have their service completed and try to join in the back of the field. But Ken Peck now able to work his way around the 41 Kurtzlek on pit road. He's going to be the leader here as we get down to 13 laps to go this time at the line. They work off of turn 4. It's Peck, Kurtzlek, Robinson, Sobrin, Rodriguez, the top 5. Then you got Harris, Nelson, and I believe that is Josh Hetrick running in that 8th position. As they fly by Essery and Steinhoff, who are just coming off of the road, so they have not been able to gain any ground on them. And Dave Lorfano had not the best pit effort as he has lost the draft, so at this point we're not going to see a back-to-back 500 winner here as they work down the back straightaway. All that could change though with the caution. We'll keep our eyes out for that, but right now Ken Peck continues to lead the way as we work off of turn 4, 13 to go at the line. As Harris has a bit of connection issue back there now as they work down that line there, 13 to go. Second line forming as business is about to pick up. We got Sauber and Harris, Nelson in the outside, Peck, Kurtzlek, Rodriguez, and Hetrick on the inside. So the outside not making any ground up there on the back straightaway, but now they'll seem to be making some headway here on the exit of turn 4. 12 laps to go this time across the line. back of the outside row to the inside line. He's going to drop in behind Hetrick. Still single file on the bottom with 2 cars pushing that top side. That is Harris and Sovereign looking to make the move. Not happening quite yet, but in a good position if they can get a little bit more help. Now they're going to have to think about dropping back to the bottom line as they've lost all that ground now, and they'll get back single file this time, 11 to go. 27.5 miles left from Daytona. This is the Sim World Racing Network's presentation of the All-American Racing League. Daytona 500. Thanks for sticking it out with us here as we get down to the business part of this race here this afternoon. Sovereign again goes to the outside, see if he can get any help from anyone. Nothing working out for him quite yet. He's side by side with Harris, going to cut back in line before he loses too much ground. Side by side drafting essentially has cost those guys a ton of real estate now, as the first 5 of 6, 2, 4, 5, 6 has slipped away from those other 2. That's what happens. So 2 cars side by side, definitely a lot slower, bigger pull to punch in the air. 25 miles to go. 10 laps on the board is all that's left for these competitors at the Daytona International Speedway. Of the 16s, bumper down into turns 3 and 4 out of 4. Still single file up front, the first 6 cars, as they've opened up a distance back to the 27 and the 1. Seeing if he can get some help, but the guy in the catbird seat might be that number 3 car. Robinson knows how to close these races out. I've seen him win a couple here on the high banks at Daytona. See if he can put himself in a position to pick up the biggest win of the AARL season, the 500 miler from Daytona, as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. Just a handful more times they come down to the line. It'll be 8 to go. Best time at the line. Will the winner come from these first 6 cars, or will a caution throw a monkey wrench into it all as they work down the back straightaway? Still single file. No one wants to pull out a line yet and get too wide, because it's definitely hurt. It's 27 and 1 as they were side by side. They lost the draft and now are sitting a good chunk of time behind the group in front of them. They've already lost over 3 seconds to this group just by simply being too wide, too long, and losing that draft. At the back of this, currently in 6th. See if he can concoct a plan to get to the front. But at the moment, he looks to be dropping off the draft, also just getting too far behind that 25 of Metrics to close the gap potentially as we get towards the end of this one. As I say that, though, able to drive right back up on that back bumper of the 25 machine, gives him a love tap down the back straightaway. Lets that gap open up a little bit more, giving himself some room for error in case those cars in front of him decide to go sideways and the wrong ways. 6 to go this time at the line. Here we come. Down to turn 1. Miles to go this time at the line. Still no one ready to make a move quite yet as they head down into turn 1 and 2. Ken Pack in the driver's seat of this one, but it may not be the place you want to be at the end of this one, because you don't get to make the move, you get the made move on you. So we'll see how Ken reacts to that when the time comes. But for right now, he's right there controlling this field single file nose to tail around the bottom of this one down to turn 3. 4 to go, 10 miles this time as they cross the tri-oval start-finish line. Here we go. We should see some moves coming soon. Just under 0.4 of a second, the difference between first and fifth there on your screen, and probably about under 4.5 tenths to the 6th place car of Nelson there. All 6 under a blanket. They head down the back straightaway, looking for 3 to go. Down across the start-finish line with 3 to go, heading to turn 1. Still all in. Back up front, Hertzleck, Robinson's second and third, Rodriguez and Petrick, fourth and fifth, James Nelson sixth. All have a chance at this, as Nelson there, the furthest car out away from the lead, is about half a second off as we got a move to the outside. Looks like Rodriguez and Hetrick's working together to cut down and see if they can get to the front. 3 to go, the time is now, says the 25 and the 7. They got trouble on the bottom because they got the QFRL boys all lined up. As I say that, Rodriguez bails on Hetrick's. They get back down into line, but Rodriguez able to clear the Robinson 3. Now he goes back to the outside with no help, so that's going to put him to the back of those 4 cars. 2 to go. Hertzleck right there on the back bumper, put the 16. To go, looking for the white flag this time out of turn 4. Ken Pack, as I said, in the driver's seat, but maybe in the wrong spot at the wrong time come the end of this one. Down to the line, 1 to go, 2.5 miles to settle it here at Daytona. Nelson and Rodriguez go to the outside. They have a 3-car group with Hetrick pushing on behind them. Down through turns 1 and 2, almost even with the second place car they are. Now see if they can get around Ken Peck. They got the run. Oh, up into the fence maybe a little bit goes Nelson. Now Rodriguez goes to the inside to block Ken Peck, but get a run from his help. Hetricks will work with Nelson down the back straightaway. They are clear and free of everyone behind them. James Nelson leads the way. Now Hetricks ducks to the inside, 2 wide through turns 3 and 4. They are going to battle it out down to the start-finish line. They bump, they touch. Ken Peck goes below the yellow line. Not sure if that is a fair move or not, but down to the stripe. We'll see who wins it. Travis Rodriguez picks up the Daytona 500 here in the opening race of the All-American Racing League season. By the hair on his chinny chin chin, Travis Rodriguez comes down to the end and collects the victory here at Daytona. We'll take another look at that here. Keep an eye on that 7 car. Just noses out Nelson at the finish. What a way to end 500 laps, or 500 miles of racing. 200 laps around the Daytona 500. Daytona International Speedway. Travis Rodriguez celebration donuts happening as he is the winner tonight from Daytona in a finish win of just by maybe 1/1000th of a second, picking up the win and locking himself into the playoffs, the first driver to do so here in the 2025 season. It's time for some post-race interviews. We'll see if we can grab a word with the top 3 Give me a second to see if we can get them dialed up. Hey, Greg, it's Nathan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Third place coming out of that. Not a bad start to the year. Obviously third going into the last lap, and finished where you started that lap, but obviously wanted to be 2 spots better, I think.
Yep. I'm just glad I didn't get wrecked in the lead this time.
Well, that's definitely a good thing, right? Obviously finishing the
Yep.
race is better than getting wrecked out of it. So
Mm-hmm.
congrats on the third place run. Hopefully you can keep the momentum up when we go to Atlanta next week.
Yep. Yep. Me. I hope so. Thank you.
No problem. Have a good week.
Yep.
All right, that was second place runner or third place driver, Greg Robinson. See if we can get a word with tonight's second place finisher, James Nelson. Hey James, it's Nathan up in the booth. You got a copy?
How you doing, Nathan? Yes, sir.
I'm good. How are you? Second place, not a bad start to the year.
Not bad, not bad. Got decent points in stage 1 as well. I'll take it.
That's just by the hair on your chinny chin chin, finishing second to Travis. But you had some help, and then Hetrick's bailed coming through 3 and 4, but you're able to hold on for the second. Did you feel you could have done anything different to maybe get that win?
No, I think I was pretty lucky to just not wreck and make it to the finish line. Travis did a great job diving it down in the middle, coming off 4 there. Almost was able to kill his momentum, but not quite. He was a fun race, though.
Well, the good news is you get to do it all again tomorrow as the QFRL kicks off their season. Another 500 miles here from Daytona. So hopefully you can take what you learned tonight and parlay it into 1 spot better tomorrow.
Hopefully. Certainly going to try.
All right, James. Thanks a lot, and hopefully we can talk to you next week after Atlanta.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate it.
All right, that was second place finisher tonight. That was James Nelson. And now we'll have a word with tonight's winner, and probably one happy winner at that, Travis Juggles Rodriguez. Hey, Travis, it's Nathan. You got a copy?
I am here, sir. I am here.
You are here, and you are the winner of the Daytona 500. That's got to be pretty awesome, no?
Oh, buddy, that was stressful. That was nice. I don't know how I got that run at the end or how I used it, but I will take it.
You and Josh there made a move with 3 to go that didn't really pan out, but you were able to get back in line and not to lose too much ground and put yourself in a spot for that win. Working with Josh, obviously, for a long time in the league definitely probably helped you there at the end.
Oh, definitely. Me and Josh, we've had a sort of understanding when it comes to plate races and stuff. We work together pretty well, and it definitely helped having him there. Even though that first run kind of fell apart, and which is nice to be able to use it and stay with everything.
Well, Travis, congrats. Obviously, first win of the year in the first race. Lock yourself into the playoffs, so that's got to take some pressure off. Got another restrictor plate race next week, and then off to a road course, which I know you're happy about. So hopefully we can talk to you again over the next couple weeks, pick up that second win of the year. But again, congrats from us at Sim World Racing Network on your win, and good luck the rest of the year.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you.
All right, that was tonight's winner, Travis Rodriguez. Obviously, very happy with the showing he got tonight, picking up the win by just a mere bumper length over James Nelson at the end of this one. Let's scroll down here and see if we can bring you the full rundown of the results from tonight's 500-mile race. Travis Rodriguez, obviously the winner, as I mentioned, over James Nelson by 1/100th of a second, 0.012 the distance, or the time difference between first and second tonight. So that's pretty close to a tie if I've seen one. Third place, again, Gregory Robinson, pole sitter tonight, won stage number 1. So again, as James mentioned, a good points night for Greg as well, with the stage win, collecting a fair amount of points. And then Ken Pack, I told you, might have been in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Leader on the last lap, doesn't usually win these things. And Ken Pack comes home fourth, so don't think he'll be too disappointed about that, but still looking for that first All-American Racing League win. And then Josh Hetrix, the 25 machine, coming home fifth. Strong result for Hetrix, backing up his win on Tuesday in the QFRL Xfinity race. 6 goes to Mike Kurzlak in his number 41. Cam Harris in the 27 gets 7th. And then you got Ryan Steinhoff, Chris Essery, and Tyrone Yo rounding out the top 10. Then Dave Lorfano and Curtis Sobrin coming in 11th and 12th. 2 laps down at the end of this one, Chad Snyder and Larry Garnes. And then Dave Hara unfortunately had an issue earlier in the race, putting him 49 laps off the pace. And then Sean Horlander, after an accident around the midway point of this one, unable to finish, 104 laps off the pace. Those were your 16 starters tonight for the Daytona 500. Obviously, so happy for those of you who joined us and stuck it out here. Just about under 3 hours roughly to get that race in. So happy that you joined us. Obviously, looking forward to continuing to broadcast this season for you. We'll take a quick look here at the schedule. So next week, we'll be on the air from Atlanta Motor Speedway, back to regular race time. So 7:45 practice starts, 8:30 qualifying. We'll be on the air around 8:15, 8:20 next week and bring you the 208 lap race from Atlanta Motor Speedway, another high-speed restrictor plate event on the cards for next week. And then, as I mentioned to Travis, 2 weeks from tonight, February 27th, we head to Texas, the Circuit of the Americas. A shorter track this year based on NASCAR's change. We will head to that shorter race and go green on the 27th. And then on March 6th, we head out west to the home of the finale at the end of the year. So a test race for everyone, 250 laps around Phoenix. So again, thanks everyone for joining us here on the Sim World Racing Network. My name is Nathan Christensen, the voice of the All-American Racing League Cup Series. So happy you could be here with you. Congrats to Travis Rodriguez picking up the first win of the year, locking himself into the AARL playoffs as long as he maintains that 70% attendance, which I'm sure he will have no problem doing, knowing he's in that playoffs already. We will talk to you next week on the air about 8:15 Eastern Time next Thursday night. I apologize. We will talk to you then. Thanks again for joining us and have a great week, and we'll see you next week.